All right, our inbox has been inundated with messages from people asking, complaining about a story we brought you yesterday on the 208. We spoke to a West Ada parent of 2 high school kids who said the hundreds of people who gathered outside the West Ada School District offices early Monday morning don't represent the majority of parents in the district. They were demanding the Board of Trustees give parents an option of in-person schooling when the school year starts a week from today instead of only online as recommended by Central District Health. Kim Bradford told us she wanted to follow the guidance of the health experts, and she didn't want those parents representing her. And she believed there are a lot more parents like her out there, a silent majority. The parents that want the schools open to the point to the West Ada survey from last month. Like this note from John Klein, who asked us to please publish the results of the West Ada County School Parents Survey. It absolutely refutes the one parent that was against sending their child back to school. Honestly, I'm disappointed in your reporting. Well, John, maybe you missed it last Thursday when we heard from one of the parents who organized the protest Monday morning. We'll get to that in a moment. Last week was also when we talked about the West Ada Parent Survey. Hold on a second. And here it is. All 669 pages of it. And the question everyone points to in this survey is the first one. How likely are you to send your student to school next fall if there is a community spread of coronavirus and schools may open and then close for periods of time? 0 equals unlikely, 10 very unlikely, or very likely, excuse me. And yes, 10,500 answered 6 or above. That's 62.5%. That is a majority. We said that last week. We also said it yesterday. So today, we wanted to take a closer look at what else was in the West Ada Parent Survey. For example, the second highest number on that how likely list, it was 0 with 2,400 responses. And oh, there were a lot more responses. Yeah, it's big. So this is the parent survey that the West Ada School District put out on July 27th. It ran through August 25th, and they got 17,000 responses to this. There are only 6 pages that have to do with the results, as you can see right here. The rest of it, all comments. These are thousands and thousands of comments, and a lot of them say, please make a decision soon. A lot of them say, no masks needed. And a lot of them say, online only. It's the safest way to go. But all of these are in alphabetical order, meaning the listing of them is based on what was written first in the response section. For example, answers that begin with the word my, they all start on page 381. And there's a string of no mask comments. They start on page 422 and go all the way to page 424. And there were a lot of responses that begin with the word open, as in open the schools. Those start on page 438 and go all the way to page 447. So let's take a look at what some of you had to say in this West Ada survey. If proper precautions are taken for those that are more susceptible to the virus, I see no reason why students cannot attend a regular school schedule. Maybe a new survey should be drafted with more options for parents and students. I would add the fact that wearing a mask for any extended period reduces the H2O intake of our bodies to below 20%. Yeah, they said water, which in turn greatly affects our health and brain function. Give our kids a regular schooling experience with precautions at school, not home, so they can have the type of education you and I had, okay? Or this one. A tough situation as a district to be in. While I think asking parents' opinions is nice, you will never please anybody. I think the district should just make a decision and roll with it. Okay, remember this was done in July. Ada and Canyon counties have been identified by the White House as in the red zone. With the current conditions, we believe West Ada should start the school with an online-only platform, like neighboring Nampa, and move education to in-person when it becomes safe to do so. All right, let's see if we can find another one. How about this one here? Okay, my children every year are home within the first month with flus and colds. This year will be no different, but how we react will. Our kids are resilient. Our kids need social interaction. School cannot continue to be a prison or my kids will not be in it. Masks, every other day schooling, shorter recesses, breaks, less of normalcy, not a good idea. All right, let's do one more. And again, these are just kind of snippets, but here's one. All of my daughter's grandparents are over 60, have diabetes, high blood pressure. One is on dialysis. I myself, a recent cancer survivor, and we have a toddler. My husband is a small business owner. If my daughter brought COVID home from school, it would be way more than devastating to our family. If schools are open, my husband wants to send our daughter to school since he doesn't feel COVID is that big of a deal. I feel the opposite. Please take the decision out of our hands and remain closed so students, siblings, parents, and grandparents do not die of COVID. But what really stood out to me was the line that was at the top of this survey. It says, this survey was not restricted and could be filled out multiple times by the same participant. So of the 17,000 that did fill out this survey, how many of them did it more than once? We don't know, because the West Ada School District told me there were no restrictions on the survey, so they have no way of knowing if someone filled it out multiple times. So not exactly a scientific survey, and I'm still waiting to see why it was set up the way it was. West Ada School District Board of Trustees, they're holding a special meeting tonight, by the way, to decide on what to do with school sports. Their next regular meeting scheduled for September 8th, and as of now, there's no plans to discuss schools maybe moving to that in-person learning. That will be determined by a change in categories from red to yellow by Central District Health. And until that happens, it's all online only.